Colombian Senate approves the labor reform despite opposition from right-wing sectors. Now it remains to be seen what will happen with the popular consultation promoted by the executive. Our colleague Hernan Tobás gives us the details.
With a vote of 57 parliamentarians in favor and 31 against, the Colombian Senate plenary approved the articles that made up the labor reform, whose discussion in its fourth and final debate made clear the positions of the opposition benches belonging to the right-wing parties that decided not to report it. For workers, progress was made in labor rights that had been lost after the implementation of regressive measures imposed during the government of Álvaro Uribe.
Está el de los dominicales y festivos, que estaba reducido en un 75%.
There is the issue of Sundays and public holidays, which were reduced by 75% in pay for work on those days, but not returned to 100% as it was before 2002, and the working nature of apprenticeship contract, a very important issue for working youth, so much that we talked about them and the opportunities they have for a better future, and yet we denied them their minimum rights. But on this occasion, they will be guaranteed their full rights as a work contract like any other, which does have a fixed term for their position.
It was also agreed that the recognition and payment of overtime for night work will be changed from 10 p.m. to 7 p.m., which is one of the most significant elements and key achievements of this project. In a session marked by limited debate and participation by members of the government coalition benches who support the structural changes to the articles and whose position was decisive in the elimination of some articles unfavorable to the working class.
En la Comisión Cuarta del Senado, Angélica Lozano y los ponentes introdujeron.
In the Fourth Senate Committee, Angélica Lozano and the speakers introduced some extremely regressive measures, such as hourly work, Articles 37 and 38, which we managed to eliminate, as well as a 4-day work week for 3 days of rest, which meant that workers were not paid for overtime, and we managed to eliminate all of that. We went to a clean vote because the agreements that were being made, the consultations that were being made, were broken.
Aunque significa un avance en materia de justicia.
Although this represents progress in terms of justice and dignity in the workplace, some legislators allied with the executive branch are disappointed that they were unable to include formal provisions in the contracts of cargo transport drivers, who are waiting for the text to be reconciled in both the Chamber and the Senate so that their demands can be met. In addition, the contracts for agricultural workers was not recognized.
Contrato de trabajo agrario que está reconocido en el Código Sustantivo de Trabajo.
The agricultural employment contract recognized in the Substantive Labor Code in 2000 has not been restored. The reform promoted by Mr. Álvaro Uribe Vélez dismantled many rights, including the agricultural employment contract. Today in Colombia, there are thousands of workers on the farms of large agricultural companies who work as day laborers.
Now the approved text from both the Chamber and the Senate must be reconciled for presidential signature and to become law. Analysts assure that thanks to the impetus of the popular consultation containing the key points of the labor reform, progress was made in this area by the Senate.
Hernan Darío Tobar Gaitán, teleSUR, Bogotá, Colombia.